To know what true light is, one must understand what dark is. The beauty of contrast is ever present in our modern society, so when you ask for rain, you better be prepared for the mud. We're going to talk about the concept of contrast, how it's beneficial, not only to the world, but to you in this episode of the Positivity Hour. After the intro, come along for the journey. We'll see you around. Woo! All right, now that we're back, welcome. Told you we're going to go outside. Funny story. As you can see, I have my mic here to the left of me, the right side of your screen. I forgot one of the cords back at my apartment, so we're doing the phone audio this time. You know, I'm pretty sure we've done about 6 different mic setups. I guess this is me showing you I can be an audio engineer too, but I say all that to say that let's hop straight into this. So welcome, thanks for your time. Today, thanks for just being present. Thanks for coming out to a cornfield in the southern part of Iowa City, Iowa at 7 a.m. with me as I hear the birds chirp and the wind's blowing, but conveniently, I positioned my car in a way that it blocks the wind. Things that, that's about it for the welcome. You know, I could keep rambling, but let's just get on to the topic, okay?
Time capsule.
Actually, before we do the topic, it's the time capsule. What am I thinking about? Come on, look at your own script, Darshaun. I forgot to mention, episode 170 of the podcast. Darshaun Smith, I'm the host, the Positivity God. And for the time capsule, I got like 4 or 5 little things I wanted to throw in here real quick. The first of which is my boy, my prime time, Deion Sanders. That boy just got paid. And most importantly, he's staying in Boulder, Colorado. You know, everyone and their mama was talking about that they don't know if he's going to stay here or do that or go here or whatever his situation is. Obviously pocket watching, as most people do. And he finally took it upon himself, or not even him, the people who employ him, rather, took it upon themselves to compensate him fairly for what he's done for the people around him, and they're paying him $54 million for over the course of 5 years. So you do the math, that's like what, 10 something, you know? I think I saw a crazy stat. I'm gonna try to throw it up on the screen that this new contract is not double, but like almost double his entire NFL career earnings. And I thought that was crazy. So we love to see black men in America get paid, one, but we also love to see just people get fairly compensated for their worth. Because remember, if you want to get paid more, just provide more value. And that's what Deion has done. That being said, point number 2 for the time capsule, I bought a scale, okay? Not to like be like, oh, I'm going to be on my weight loss journey. But I bought a scale to really just understand the fluctuations in my weight a little bit better. Because, you know, I'm a young growing individual, and some days I will literally eat nothing and lose a whole bunch of weight, and some days I will eat everything and gain a whole bunch of weight, you know, or I meant to say that vice versa, but you get the point. And what I found most interesting, you know, because I've only been doing this for about a week now, is like I lost 3.5 pounds going to the gym one day just on like water weight. I found that pretty interesting. But also on top of that, like from the morning when I hadn't eaten anything to the end of the day, I had lost like 5 pounds just existing. So I know that our weight fluctuates on a daily basis, and I really am just starting to track the weight so I can have the long-term data rather than every other year I decide to put something in my phone. I'm doing it every day when I wake up now. And look at these geese out here. Well, you can't see them, but you maybe can hear them. Honk, honk. Yeah, okay, keep on flying over. Next thing I wanted to put in the time capsule real quick. Social media these days, okay? As y'all know, I pride myself in being the one-take God, okay? Obviously, I'm not always the one-take God, but if I am going to make a cut, it's very obvious and it's very, like, seamless. That's my new edit style. A lot of J cuts, a lot of L cuts. But when it comes to the podcast, no. Like, whatever you say can and will be used against you in the final edit. And, not against you, but used in the final edit. And, with social media, Lord, social media these days, it's just, there's a lot going on over here, brother. Like, it's, I don't know, from like Instagram's new algorithm, technically it's beneficial to people like myself, smaller accounts that, are trying to grow a following or trying to get a new threshold. The algorithm is more friendly to sharing out content to people that don't follow you, which can be good. But the thing I really wanted to talk about is the lack of like authenticity. Like, every time I go on Instagram to post something, like what I post is like truly, genuinely different from everyone else. Now, I actively acknowledge and understand that that's probably why I don't get a lot of views, because I'm not doing, air quote, what works. But I also don't care, because I'm not trying to be like everyone else. I'm not trying to appease everyone. I'm not trying to, fill in the blank. I'm just trying to be my unique self. And if people like me for that, cool beans. If people don't like me for that, that's also cool. Like, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the long road. I have no problem with what have you. And I'm not saying everyone who's copying everyone else doesn't have a problem or does have a problem with what I just said. I'm just here to say that social media is cancer these days. And if you are genuinely spending more than an hour a day scrolling Instagram or X or something and you're not making money from it, I don't know what you're doing, brother. Like legitimately, like, it's just not good for the human mental health cycle. And social media is these days a lot of lack of personality. So last thing I wanted to talk about is I make music now. I in the Blazer video series that I made, I'm not sure if you saw that, but I did include it in one of these earlier podcast episodes. I think the first one I made of this year. I made a song called In Da Blazer, and funny enough, I'm making a podcast in Da Blazer right now. Shout out to my roommate Blue. He produced the beat. I'll play a little snippet right here. Yeah. Y'all know the vibe, man. It's TPG 319 on the track. I got a little rap for y'all to summarize the last 12 months. Broad Blue on the track. I'm about to cook, baby. If I took the mic off mute, we might get somewhere. Yes, his government name is Blue. New year and it's time to change. I'ma turn up, they gon' know my name. I took a trip to Ohio, business trip to start my legacy. Ghost mode offline, I'm activated. Did self-reflection, I'm my biggest hater. I'm messed up, not dressed up. I'll confess, bro, that I was in my brain. All right, so now that snippet is played, I also made a new song. If I can mix it, or maybe I won't even mix it. I'll give you 4 bars of the hook. It's the second beat my roommate made for me. It's called Street, and yeah, here's a little snippet here too. Yeah. STAYPOSITIVE, man. Let's get it. Is the mic on? For those of y'all that can't spell, that spell stay positive. I'm living life, I'm not surviving. That's right. That's what my mama said. But I'm in these streets and I'm doing illegal. I ain't trying to be found dead. Cause I got people that rely on me. Look up to me. Let's get some bread. For those of y'all that can't spell, that spell stay positive. I'm living life, I'm not surviving. That's right. That's what my mama said. But I'm in these streets and I'm doing illegal. I ain't trying to be found dead. Cause I got people that rely on me. Look up to me. Let's get some bread. All right, now that you got that snippet as well. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Overall, this podcast so far going good. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're 0 and 13. Okay, 13 for 13 recording these on Sunday. That's the new metric I'm changing. And expect the quality on these to like change going forward, because new cameras coming, new equipment coming. Like, I literally in the last like 20 hours spent about a lot of money, we'll just say that, on some new equipment for upcoming projects, and just trying to take this craft more seriously, because idle money is idle money. You got to spend money to make money, but also you just got to put this equipment to work. So that's what I'm doing 2025 onwards. We just got to get out here and make more work. So yeah, let's get into the main topic.
Time for the main topic.
So for the main topic here, let's talk about a few things. Like, what is contrast? The difference between contrast in your daily life versus the business life. Think about family, friends, neighborhood, schools, photos, videos, graphics, objectives, gyms, your body, feelings, and more. The people running by, the streets I'm currently on, the car I'm currently in, all of these things and more. They can have a certain amount of contrast. And as per usual, I was about to try and Google this on my tablet. I'm by a cornfield, dog. Ain't no internet out here. Let me flip my phone around and Google this real quick. So, let us define the word contrast real quick, okay? So I'm over here putting it into Google. It says contrast refers to a noticeable difference or dissimilarity between two or more things, often used to highlight those differences. It can be a noun, like the contrast between two cultures, or it could be a verb, to contrast two approaches. So that's the literal definition. I like to always include the actual definition into these, and it's a beautiful thing that I got some cell signal out here. But yeah, so let me look at my notes again and see what there is to see. So now that we know what is contrast, let's just talk about the beauty of contrast. Obviously, in the Let's Get Personal section, I'll talk about what made me think about this topic in the first place. But I like, we'll talk about that more in detail is what I meant to say. But just loosely speaking, like, the beauty of contrast is like I said in the intro, like, if you're wishing for rain, expect there to be mud. Like don't get it twisted. Wasn't that the point? Like, with no light, there is no dark. With no positive, there is no negative. With no dirt brick road, okay, this ain't even brick, this is gravel. Gravel road, there is no nice concrete path and trail or whatever, With no luscious green grass, there is no dead cornfield with nothing in it right now because it's March 30th. It's a beautiful day to have a great day. And I think about this concept all the time, and I'm going through a lot of change in my life personally, and a lot of it has to do with my employment situation, where I want to live in this world, how I want to be remembered, things, so on and so forth. My relationship with my family, my lack of a relationship with a future wife, all of these things and more have some sort of contrast element into it. Let's take my future wife example or let's take my future wife example for example. That's what I was trying to say. Obviously, me and Invisigirl, we just chilling right here. But when I go down the street, obviously the contrast, the difference, the what else can be seen opposing to what I got going on is, there's a lot of other single people out here, but there is also a lot of people in relationships. And, I'm a young person, I got a lot of testosterone in my body. So, like, obviously I'm like, dang, maybe I need a girl or whatever. But I also understand contrasting that there's trade-offs. Like I said, if you want rain, expect there to be some mud. If you're wanting the mud because you're trying to sow some seeds, then hey, you know what you need to do. But if you understand that that's not the era of your life you're in right now, then maybe don't wish for things you don't actually want. Like I said, without darkness you can't have light. So with, like, me and a wife, for example, like, I'm not ready to settle down for a relationship. Like, my hours of the day are maximally booked up. I don't have time to go, like, watch a movie. And if I do, I'm not trying to watch it with you. I'm just not in that stage of my life yet. And I can admit that. And that's just, one situation. Same thing with family, I've had some conversations with family that are positive or negative about, personal growth and development, or the lack thereof, and the stagnation we may be all experiencing at this very point in time. And it's like, that is the beauty of contrast. It keeps you humble. That's one thing about contrast. And two, it helps you see things in a different light. So that's why when I talk about the beauty of contrast, it's not only about understanding what they have versus what you have, because we're not here to compare at the end of the day. Remember that is a major key to life. But what we are here to do is to understand that everyone's path is different, and along that path, if it was just straight up, you wouldn't appreciate it. And that's when you become a narcissist and all of these other terms they use to categorize people that didn't have any contrast. Contrast is a beautiful thing. Being at your best and then being totally and utterly destroyed down to your most bottom lowest self, as I just was last year, helps you build yourself back up so you can appreciate the good times, so you can appreciate the bad times, or the opposite. Maybe you just hate everything. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but this is the Positivity Hour with your host, the Positivity God, Darshaun Smith, okay? Well, over here, we are glass half full type people, okay? The glass was always full to begin with because when there's only a little bit of water, there's still air in it. So, yeah, that's just another situation. But think about neighborhoods, you know? I'm by a cornfield, yes, but they just built a brand new substation over here to my right, your left, and there's a whole bunch of apartments over here. This part of Iowa City is about to not be cornfield, straight up. And that's interesting because you could see quite literally, I may even take a picture of this for y'all and put this in the video. This is crazy. I could see quite literally. Yeah, we did that. Is the audio still going? Please, audio still, okay, the audio's still going. The wind is whipping right now, but hopefully you're still in the cut. Hey, cut to the camera audio just so you can hear what it sounds like. So yeah, back to this audio. Neighborhoods, you know, the only reason we know what a good neighborhood is or a good school district is or a good whatever is because we understand what a bad version of that is. Now, I take the approach because, like I said, there's the beauty of contrast. That it's like, one, you need to see that, you know, this is what a good neighborhood is and this is what a bad neighborhood is. But I just don't want you, and this is my own personal philosophy in life, I just don't want you to go through life being like, oh, like F those people, you know, living in the bad neighborhood, you know, they did it to themselves, they forced themselves into that situation, they're crabs in a barrel, this or that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you need to go be like someone's savior and save them, but I'm just saying, like, recalibrate how you think about the world. And when you view the world through contrast, this is a mindset shift here. It will allow you to go down paths not discovered before, potentially, you know, only if you allow your mind the freedom to wander, you know, to experience the ups and the downs and be honest throughout the whole process. That's one of the things I wrote here. Whether you're working with people or what stuff I was going to talk about, photos, videos, or graphics or whatever, you know, in the gym, you know, on the scale, off the scale, the green grass, the yellow grass, whatever. Like, this is a mindset to see the beauty in all things in life and understand that everything has its own journey. Everything has its own purpose. Everything has its own, you know, destination, we'll say, you know, and it's the journey that you gotta come to enjoy because it's not gonna be smooth sailing. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, you're gonna, you know, have a lot of money one day, you're gonna not have anything one day. With everything I just bought, oh Lord, all the money I just saved, I spent. So wait, shoot, we're back down at the bottom, but hey, but that motivated me to work harder. That motivated me to, oh my Lord, the birds, they're fighting. I ain't gonna lie, that scared me, big dog. They were like right here. Dang. But like, yeah, like I said, you know, it motivated me to, like, you know, work harder or pick up an extra shift or like really try hard at this content to get an extra photo client or an extra video client. Like my business, I just got an invoice paid the other day, you know, new business money came in. I literally already spent it on a new mic, but like, hey, whatever, you know, we're trying to not do retail therapy, but invest back into the craft because, you know, I'm soon to be working with high net worth individuals. I'm soon to be in rooms where I don't have time to, you know, be like, oh, let me make sure everything is good. No, like, we don't have time for that. These people's time is valuable, so we gotta capture this moment and keep going. So before we go down that whole rabbit hole, because that's in the Let's Get Personal section, I just want to wrap out the main topic. So I don't know, the birds kind of threw me off, so I'm just gonna pivot from that. I'm not gonna lie. For everyone who's listening, you may have heard the birds, but I'm saying you gotta watch that video. That was crazy. I don't know. So yeah, in conclusion, the beauty of contrast is just that, you know, the fact that we can see the light and the dark, and we can see everything else in between. That's beautiful. The fact that there's a living grass over here amongst the dead grass, that's beautiful. Okay, we can see literally who survived and who didn't survive the winter. Okay, that the fact that there's a barren cornfield and power substation over here and a growing community of, you know, bougie apartments over here, and even further over there, $300,000-$400,000 houses in South Iowa City. Like, that's contrast, you know. Instagram followers, the difference between my main Positivity God profile and the DSP business account. Okay, the fact that the DSP business account sometimes gets more engagement than the bigger account. Contrast, you know. Contrast is a beautiful thing, you know. It allows you to reframe your mind, reframe reframe the world, and reframe what's going on in your situation. So yeah, I'm gonna turn my car back on because I want the lights to not drain the battery. And yeah, let's get personal. Transition. Woo!
Let's get personal.
Restart the camera as well. You know, even for y'all, I'll change the color of the LED in the back to blue. Okay, let's get personal. So the weight loss journey has started again, and you know, my crippling Achilles tendon, which informed this contrast thing, you'll see, is food. Obviously food intake. I'm not gonna lie, I did buy some donuts last night. I really wanted a donut. Excuse me, I hadn't had a sweet thing in a while, so I was like, whatever, I'll allow it. And it was good. I'm gonna have another one this morning right after I edit this. And but yeah, the beauty of contrast with my weight loss journey, because about almost, you know, we'll say 8 months ago now, when I was at the doctor, I weighed 252. You know, conveniently 2 months after that, I hurt my ankle, couldn't go to the gym as much, couldn't go to the gym as hard, and that caused me to gain weight back. And when I did hop on a scale, I realized I gained 30 pounds. So currently I'm 280 something. I'm still below. Oh, lower the camera. No. Whoop. We will be right back, folks, when I fix the camera. All right, so that was crazy, but we're back. I don't even know where I was, brother. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Couldn't even tell you. Something about weight loss journey. Something about donuts. Eating too much. I don't know. We're leaving all this in here, bro. This is raw and uncut at this point. This is amazing. So I don't know. We're just gonna ad-lib this. We in the car now. So yeah, like I was saying, weight loss journey, food, long story short. The beauty of contrast is because a few months ago, I weighed this much, and about a few weeks ago, I had noticed that, I've been gaining weight. Maybe I need to go harder in the gym, or maybe I need to actually like do what I was doing before I hurt my ankle, because that was the thing. I was doing great before I hurt my ankle. And my ankle is getting better. It's still recovering. Now it's like good. And I'm just trying to re-strengthen the muscle so I can run upstairs, or, you know, get back into the swing of things and start losing weight again. And, you know, like I said, I'm already down another pound or two, but your weight fluctuates so much from literally what the food you're eating to the food you're drinking and so on and so forth. And yeah, brother. It's crazy how much wind is out here right now. I moved the camera, obviously, behind my car a little bit, so the wind's blowing around it. And yeah, this is a very interesting episode. We're posting this joint. I don't care. Friends. Recently, I've had some friends like I've reconnected with, you know, that we experienced some crazy traumatic things in the past. And it's a beautiful thing, to say the least, to like talk with these people now that we've both healed on our own. And we're coming back and we're like, dang, I can't believe we went through that, or we knew these people, or so on and so forth. Oh my goodness, what is going on with the wind, bro? It's about to storm, I guess. The reason my camera's not falling over right now is because I put my backpack on the little thing under it, which I should have did anyways, which adds more weight into the legs. So I need to stop being a noob, I guess, and start using my camera knowledge, because yeah. But yeah, friend diversity, you know, friend contrast, you know, being like with people who are so surface level and people who are obviously just fake or trying to get something out of you, versus like people where it's like, I haven't spoke to this person in years, and it's like we picked right back up like that, you know, like it was nothing, there was no time, and it's just like we was back together. I was like, that's the beauty of contrast. So that's how you know that's a real friend you know, and that's like someone who's just here for the moment, you know, fleeting emotion. I already talked about the women thing, so we don't need to talk about that. And then, yeah, like, another thing, contrast business, like I was saying, literally, like I was just saying, with the business knowledge of the camera, like I'm not saying I'm falling into the broke artist category yet, but I'm just like, I've spent a lot of time trying to get good at the craft or try to get technologically savvy with how to use cameras or how to capture the moments or how to get the clients to, or how to get the files to a client, so on and so forth. And, you know, I finally am like, okay, now I got to get good at business. You know what I'm saying? I understand, and I understood this a while ago. You don't need to be good with the camera to make money with the camera, bro. You just need to be good enough. And I'm beyond good enough. Like, it is sad, the fact that I'm not full-time in this, but it's because I'm not out here throwing infinite money at ads, or I'm not out here making copious amounts of content, posting and showing what I can do. Yet I have 15 videos already recorded, another 15 videos in the pipeline. I'll have content through June. It's March right now. Like, trust me, I know that's what I'm working on right now, but it's the beauty of contrast. The understanding that that's why business is slow, you know, and I enjoy this contrast moment because now that I know when business is slow, I can know that, oh shoot, business is kicking up. I need to make sure I'm responding to emails within a week. I need to, or not even a week, within 48 hours. That's my policy, you know. Or I'm responding to text messages, or when they have a question, I answer it, you know, to the best of my ability. And most importantly, I'm honest. I want to treat people how I would want to be treated. And that's going to ruffle some feathers because, you know, I don't speak how other people speak. I don't, you know, deliver information how other people deliver information. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think that, like I was saying earlier, we all just need to be a little bit more different. So I could talk more and more about this, but I think the point has been illustrated that there's been a lot of contrast in my own life recently, in the last week or two, but even the last year or two, where I've just been like, this is beautiful. You know, the high moments, the low moments, the left moments, the right moments, the things you thought you planned properly for, the money that was spent, you know, the resources that were gained or what have you. It's a beautiful thing. The beauty in contrast, the difference between that and this and everything else in between. It's a beautiful thing. So let's do some wisdom from your OG real quick. Yeah.
Wisdom from your OG.
For this week's wisdom from an OG, I have a video from Jordan Peterson I wanted to display for y'all. Only if it's like a minute or two. I'm just gonna I was gonna watch it with you, but then I was like, I'm gonna come out here and I didn't bring everything I needed to make that happen. Plus it's really windy. I don't know. This podcast we're adapting, okay? We're to the situation we got. So I'm just gonna do the freeze frame thing and play you a minute. So yeah, let's regroup and I'll give you my thoughts in about a minute. Yeah.
Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well, you know, and what that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. And so what you're you know, maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You know, you can't tell, and people have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. And You know, I can give you just one example. Is like I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush me, would crush the typical person. They're just working flat out, like 90 hours a week, and they have thousands of people depending on them. And you know, they have their money, and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. You know, they don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off. Now, there are wealthy, what would you call, playboy types, I suppose, who live out the dreams of wealth of a foolish 14-year-old, but they're not that common, and you have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, you know, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly. It's like, I'm just about 60. It takes me like 15 years to make a friend now, you know, as opposed to the 2 months that it took when I was 17. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you, you know. They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that the only person that has those is you. And this is why one of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And you know, no doubt there are some things that you could improve. You know, if you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind. You know, you could be getting up earlier. You could be watching YouTube less. Comparing yourself to who you are now, that's a game you can win.
All right, so now that we're back, I love how, for me, that was like a second, but for you, it's like a minute. Shout out if you're still here after that. I know Jordan Peterson can be a controversial individual sometimes because his toxic masculinity, air quotes for those who can't see. But I think some of the things he talks about with all people, from Andrew Tate to Oprah Winfrey, you know, can be controversial. But, you know, the truth lies between two extremes. Remember, the beauty in contrast. It's a way to live life. It's a mindset, so you can see through what people are just trying to tell you this person represents, or they're saying this or that, and you can make up your own damn mind. For me personally, when I watched that clip last night, writing the show notes for this, I was like, this is exactly what I was talking about social media. Like this concept of like comparison, and then even more so, not even swagger jacking or faking it till you make it, but just blatantly copying people. You know, there's this concept called the Mr. Beastification of like YouTube, where it's like everyone's just stealing his thumbnails. Everyone's just doing what Jimmy was doing, and it's just a very interesting thing. And I think that Jordan Peterson hit that right on the head. It's like everyone's path is different. Just because you see someone with success or money or, you know, some high status doesn't mean that you want their life, because you don't know what they had to do to get there. And that's crazy. That's the beautiful thing about life, though, is contrast, you know. You could do the exact same thing and get a completely different result just because I'm here in Iowa and you're watching this in San Diego, California. You know, I'm here in Iowa and this is that one person in Nigeria that watches me. I appreciate you, brother. Okay. Like, like it's, I don't know. Life is very interesting. And that was some wisdom I needed from an OG, because as he said in that, he's almost 60. I think that clip was from a few years ago. So I think he is approaching higher levels, we'll say, of knowledge in the 60s. And yeah, that's your wisdom from an OG. So let's wrap this up. Next week's topic real quick. is going to be about getting out of your comfort zone and doing what you have to do to see success. I started to briefly mention that this week between the content I was making, me actually publishing the previous work I've done to show people what I can do, because I can't believe for quite literally 1 year I did a paid shoot every month and didn't show anybody any of the work. That's insane to me. I can't believe I didn't show proof. And that's the reason why business has slowed up, is because I've done all the work I could for people I already know. And now I need to do work for people I don't know. And we're going to be talking about that more in the future, as in 7 days from now, because my life may be changing. You know, maybe Darshaun Smith Productions is ending here soon. Maybe it's just going to be reshaped based around a large retainer client I may or may not have. Maybe I just, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. I'm a leaf in the wind. I'm just trying to wake up every day and make it happen, because I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and I'm trying to see success. So we're going to talk about that more next episode. And for the outro, thank you for your time. Thank you for playing your part in this little endeavor. This was crazy, dog. The camera fell over in the wind. I forgot my cord, so I couldn't even use the nice mic. Even if I could use the nice mic, I didn't bring the dang windscreen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not windy by my apartment because I live in the middle of the city. But I came out to the country and I'm just like, well, shoot. A lot of wind over here. There's no trees, as you can see. Probably you can't see with this camera angle. I don't know. This episode was really good. I really liked this episode, I'm not gonna lie, because this was a true Darshaun Smith production. So thank you for your time. It was all over the place, but it was a beautiful thing. This is true, authentic creativity. I just want to show y'all what other people are cutting out, because this is how stuff is made. This is how greatness is made. This is how, I will have stuff to look back on later and be like, this is where I was at in my life. So, because like I said, I tell the camera what I need to tell myself. So, future Darshaun, I hope I made you proud here, but I just want to say I hope I made you proud too, whoever's listening to this. So shout out to you. Thank you for your time. This has been a Darshaun Smith production. Like, subscribe, unsubscribe, hate, comment, follow, unfollow, share, report. Haven't said that in a while. Make sure you just do whatever you want. Stay positive. Not the choice is yours. And we gone. Fade to black. Woo! Get the bread, baby.
I'm in my G'd up zone. I'm about to get it in, kick your feet up, home. Days turn to weeks when you're always on the grind all night. I got my re-up back. I'm about to get it in, I'll be right back.
Nate, high lows to those who don't know the name. And G'd up, yup, that's the only thing I claim.